Now I want to get into a little bit about the genocide that is looming in South Africa. They're the world's leading expert on genocide, Gregory Stanton of Genocide Watch. He went on a fact-finding mission in 2012. We reported it in here, and we've reported it many times since then. And he investigated this phenomenon that had actually been accelerating for decades. Since 1994, in 1992, the Afrikaners, the whites, voted in an election to surrender power. Since then, about 3,500 farmers have been brutally murdered. Babies being raped, people having their eyes gouged out, people having their skin flayed off, and then left with Bibles on their dead bodies. Nothing is stolen, right? The government pretends these are just robberies, but they're nothing of the sort. If you want to find out, just put into any search engine "Plasmoorde," which is farm murders in Afrikaans, or you can even type in farm murders. Be careful, because you'll find a lot of racist websites and things like that that really don't have credibility. But unfortunately, the problem that's facing the people down there, they've had tens of thousands of murders of white people, and it's a very serious problem, and it's going to be a serious problem for everybody. So Gregory Stanton went down there in 2012, and he had developed, his organization had developed a tool to monitor genocide, and it had 8 different stages on it. And keep in mind, Dr. Stanton was an anti-apartheid activist. He worked for a long time to help bring down the apartheid system, this separate development system where the different black nations were each given their own homeland with nominal independence, and the whites would keep the rest. So Dr. Stanton was an activist against this system, and then he came out in 2012 and he said, on these 8 stages of genocide, 8 being denial after the fact, 7 being actual extermination, and 6 being the planning and preparation phase, he said South Africa was at stage 6, that they were planning and preparing the genocide. He said there was direct evidence of government incitement to genocide. And he was referring, of course, to a number of different developments. You have President Jacob Zuma, a polygamist and animist who blames all of South Africa's problems on Christians and on whites. And he had gone on TV that year, and he sang a genocide song. He sang, bring me my machine gun, we're going to slaughter the Boers. The Boers are, the Afrikaner farmers who've been there for hundreds of years. I mean, they have nowhere else to go. They're South African through and through.
Ulipul sizokushaya uzotutshulwa ulipul sizokushaya uzobaleka.
This is a direct incitement to genocide. Then you had Julius Malema, who at the time was the youth leader for the African National Congress, singing the same type of songs, advocating the genocide of the Afrikaner people, who make up about 8% of the population at this point. About 1 million have already fled, and South Africa has a population of a little over 50 million. And the situation, unfortunately, has just continued to deteriorate. There was some action. Julius Malema was kicked out of the party, and so Dr. Stanton reduced the genocide alert slightly. But unfortunately, the farm murders have continued to increase. February 2017 has seen a record number of farm attacks and farm murders, according to the Transvaal Agricultural Union. And this is a tragedy waiting to happen, and the world is turning its eyes away. So people need to pay attention to what's happening in South Africa. There's also a very good case to be made that South Africa is kind of the canary in the coal mine for the West, for Western civilization, and the rest of the West could be facing very serious problems in the future if people don't take these types of threats seriously. So, the communists have taken over. They're using racial hatred and racism and whipping up hysteria and demonizing the Afrikaners to distract from the problems that they themselves have caused. They've run the economy into the ground. Unemployment is massive. The economy is falling apart. Life expectancy has fallen by 10 years since 1994, when the ANC took power. And of course, the ANC rule South Africa in an alliance with the Communist Party. I mean, this is well known. It's called the Tripartite Alliance. It's the ANC, the South African Communist Party, and one of the big labor unions, the umbrella labor unions. And the world needs to pay attention. Yeah, it's a serious thing that's happening. It's a horrible thing that's happening, and people need to see what's happening there. So thank you for listening. Please go to thenewamerican.com, check out some of the articles we've published there, and you know, if you have any way of reaching other people, please try to share the information. Thanks again.